that has attracted the leads and the customers that we have today. And that's what we teach in the academy, between going from, what's your niche, and what kind of content should you be creating, how to build up a loyal community, and all that kind of stuff is a big part of the academy. It's because that makes for a very lucrative and
sustainable too,
a business that you can take to the bank for the rest of your life. So, and that's the strategy that we do. That's the strategy that we teach. Now, that said, then once you've got that content, you go out and you try to get it to be listed, highly ranked and listed in all kinds of search engines. And when I say search engines, we're talking Google, iTunes, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter. These are all places that people are looking for connection, content, information, entertainment, and you should show up in those places wherever your market may happen to be, as many of those as possible. So that's the strategy overall. And that's what we do, and that's what you should be doing as well. Now, going along with that question, Jules from Australia says that she's struggling a bit with traffic. She says, could you talk about how to get people up to your new site and get them to sign up? I've just launched 2minutebusinesstips.com and not sure what to do to drive traffic without spending too much. I've tried Twitter with little response, posted drive traffic request on the academy. I Facebooked it. What next? And, really this goes along to what I was just saying. I'd ask a few things. Are you doing the regular content creation? Do you have a steady, a frequent, consistent content creation strategy where you're blogging regularly, or you're creating audio regularly, or you're creating video regularly? And, if you've got that established, well, now, start making sure that it's search engine optimized and start getting it out to directories. Go to the course. There's a whole course on traffic, and make sure you just go through that step by step and make sure you've set everything up to work really well. Now, a lot of the strategies we share are ones that just work solidly, consistently over time. They're not flash in the pan type strategies. They do take a little time to set up, but they're also free or cost to next to nothing, which is why we share those, and they work really well. But yes, they do take a bit of time and patience to snowball. If you're more anxious to start getting traffic today, well, that's where you're gonna have to start putting out some money and doing like Google AdWords or Facebook ads, or buying some text ads in side of like email newsletters or on a blog site or some things like that. So you've got that choice to make. Either just consistently keep plugging away at the free content marketing style stuff that we talk about in our traffic course inside the academy. And we talk a little bit about AdWords as well, or start putting money down for something like AdWords and paid advertising.
Well, and just looking at his site, the thing that he's done differently than what we teach is we definitely teach to drive people to a blog as your kind of your hub of your business. And I'm not sure if you put in your information here, you can go to a blog, but obviously you're going to get the traffic from a blog, and in many cases what we teach is a podcast. So, I mean, obviously 2-minute business tips sounds perfect for a podcast.
Yeah.
Maybe 2 minutes is even a little short on content, but as far as for a podcast, but I mean, it still sounds like it's set up perfectly for the model that we teach. And I would probably, if I went with him through his business, have him go back to, course 5 and 6, and then even into, the content creation and how often to create, how to easily create content fast, all that kind of stuff. So, and there's very specific ways to use Twitter. So, we don't know exactly how he's using Twitter because, we use Twitter and have great response, but there's a specific way we do it. So, and in fact, I think we just put a video in the Academy on all of our latest tips on that. So, Jules, I would definitely go in and watch that as well.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, if you're going to stick with a landing page, and this is a fine landing page, video, and it's got the opt-in and some things like that. But if you're going to stick with this and not do the content marketing, then you're looking at putting out some money to drive traffic. You're looking
Absolutely.
Yeah, so.
All right. Next question is from Jenna. Can you discuss sales tax laws for downloadable products? I'm not sure if I'm in compliance or not.
All right. Well, without giving any legal advice, any tax advice, any professional advice whatsoever, this is simply an example of what I do. And this is obviously in the United States where we live. our understanding, and this could change. So, if somebody's listening to this in the future, I mean, the moral of the story here is you got to go talk to your tax guy. But what we have done, because what we do is all digital information on the internet, there's no sales tax. There's no physical good being shipped anywhere. Now, the few times that we have sold a physical good, we've only worried about collecting sales tax for the state in which we are doing business. But that might vary from state to state. Again, why you have to talk to a lawyer, why you have to talk to your tax guy. So for instance, when our business is in Utah, where we formed the LLC, if we happen to ship a product to somebody in Utah, we would make sure to pay the sales tax on that. Now, that said, even if you're not collecting any sales tax at all for whatever reason, because it's all digital or whatever the case may be, your tax guy says, well, for what you're doing, you don't have to worry about collecting sales tax, is that you still have to file the sales taxes, at least in the United States with your state. You still have a thing that you got to file saying, I didn't have any. I actually had that bite me once where a couple of years later, after I'd moved out of Utah, I was living in New York, the state of Utah was contacting me and saying, you had this business and it took them a long time to realize, and I didn't even know I'd done something wrong. And they were very understanding. I was like, oh, wow, I didn't realize it. They're like, you never filed this thing. And, so now you've got a $50 fee or something to pay. And I was like, oh, which was sad because it was only like less than $10 of sales tax that they said, oh, it looks like you need to pay some minimum. I don't know. I can't remember. It was several years ago, but that's when I learned this lesson about sales tax, that it's like, oh, maybe just because I'm doing internet business doesn't mean that I ignore the sales tax things. I still need to talk to my tax guy about this and make sure I am staying in compliance. So there's the main pointer, I guess, that we'd have for you.
Yeah, and it doesn't cost them that. It doesn't cost that much to have your tax guy take care of that. I did it myself for a couple of years, and luckily, apparently, I was doing it somewhat right, but I really hated doing it. So I did finally give it to my accountant to take care of, and